Hey everyone, we're the Bearded Bastards of the Villains Man, bringing you our D&D campaign, The Ancient War Reborn, session 26, from Q's Comics and Games in Dexter, Missouri. I'm your DM, JVD.
Hey guys, I'm Evan the Great from Villains Demand. I'm playing the Elven Bard / Paladin Luda Silverstring, and we are doing this right now.
Make it rain, Michael Cotta!
Hey, I'm the Bearded Wonder with the Villains Demand, and I'm playing Vesper North, the Moon Elf Rogue, and she's pretty emo right now.
Word.
I'm Smiley playing Order the White Templar. Dragon Slayer, Slave Freer.
Hey, I like it.
And I'm Wes playing Roland Ivor.
So, would you say Vesper is emo enough to cut my grass?
Yeah, probably.
Cool. Okay, just want to make sure. Evan the Great, playing Ludo Silverstring. Give me the recap.
Alright, recap. We got a bunch of slaves. We traveled down, what were the stairs called? They're like 15 foot.
12,000 steps.
12,000 steps. Once we get that down, a bunch of the slaves, they ran off. The barbarian type, the orcs and the goblins, a few of them stayed with us. Got us down to about half as many as we had. And then we finally got to our destination of Newfort. While we got there, me and Ord went and got clothing and weaponry, if we could find it, and food, and we had a good time in the inn. Roland, him and Vesper was also there. Roland partaked in some of the festivities, but the biatch, she's back being a biatch, by the way, Vesper, decided not to take in any of the stuff and go emo and go to her room.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that Vesper's being a bitch. She's dealing with her emotions. You gotta think, after losing everything
It
for
is.
so long,
She
she
does.
gained something she's cared about and had it taken
We are
away from
in
her.
real game. We're giving her space.
Hey, and technically, if you think about it, when it happened, she was enslaved. So it's like her own slavery brought the end to her
How long
lover.
before she starts going crazy and the vampire head starts talking to her?
Maybe actually me and her's already been doing that. You guys just don't know.
What if
about it.
Ruth City's spirit gets into the vampire head and it's like the Venture Brothers?
We walk in, she's shit.
Not the Venture Brothers. Remember the 23, the henchman for what's his name? Anyway.
What is it for the monarch?
Yeah.
24 was it?
Remember one of them had a skull and it died. He talked
Yeah, it was
to
24.
Yeah.
It's talking to 23, wasn't it? Or 21,
Yeah.
whatever it was.
I can't remember
Yeah,
the
to give him a
numbers.
skull. Because remember, he got all jacked up, was buff.
What is it?
This is the Venture Brothers.
No, I never watched
Oh my fucking god, get out of here!
Venture Bros, man.
Shame!
I got
Shame!
racial this.
Shame! All your stats drop to 10s. I mean,
It's really good.
you should watch. It's great. You'll love it. You'll love it. But anyways, you're here at Newfort. You've had a pretty good night, except for Vesper. I wake up. Everybody's in pretty good spirits. I mean, these people that's been freed are ecstatic. You know, this is the best time they've had in some of them 5-6 years. Some of them within a year. I mean, everybody's pretty happy. You've done a great thing here. Everybody gets an inspiration, but Vesper, because she's emo. Sorry, I hate to do that to you,
That's cool.
but you know,
She has a hangover right now, anyway.
I bet, yeah. They all get an inspiration. You don't. You got inspiration. So I already gave you some stuff. Vesper gets an expensive bottle of wine. So
Yeah, the inspiration I would have gotten, can I give it to Vesper instead?
sure, why not? Sure, you pass that right along.
All right, Santa.
Or to Vesper?
Were you hating? Are you hating? Okay, so it's the second of Hammer. It's the second day. Hey, basically, you guys kind of had a New Year's Eve party.
Yeah.
A New Year's party. That's fun. Think about it.
What happened when Ward snuck off by himself and started doing stuff?
A dwarven New Year's Eve party. He was crafting. Right. I mean, it was the first.
We
of
all get
every
hammered in our own
party.
ways. You get hammered by hammering.
We were sitting there at the bar, rolling or drinking. Then the bartender came along and started talking about, Torm and all that other stuff. He sneaks off to go do some work. Roland probably got pretty shit faced last night too.
Hey, Hangover City. Best part said she's got a hangover.
I'm gonna try to get one of these slaves that hooked up Roland. I'm fucking with you.
Before I called it a night, I did send a sending to Grizzly just to check in on him. Nothing fancy.
He tells you he's fine.
Right.
He's in tri-board, trying to prepare it just in case something happens there. That's what he's been spending his time doing. So, it's the information you get from him.
Yeah.
So, with second of hammer, I guess you guys are going to go about your way and go straight to Everlund, or you guys want to go somewhere else? Celebar, maybe?
Is it possible we can get horses here?
Yes, but due to your generosity,
They think we're rich.
yes. Well, they tell you there's a quicker way to where you're going.
Those Griffins.
No, quicker than that. Well, not
Giant
one
eagles.
quicker. Yeah, we know how that one turned out.
The Death Star. Too much?
You can take the Ice Spear River down the Reborn River and get to Everlund in probably about 8 days. All the way down the river. I don't know if I don't know if you guys would feel that you'd be helpless just on a boat by yourselves.
Probably not, we've done it before.
So.
Yeah, dude, gonna vote.
Okay, you done it by yourself, but you also are messing with this cult that you've now killed one of their leaders.
But do they know that yet?
Well, I can swim.
Well, I
so
think let's just put that in. Yeah, it's been a couple days now. No, it's been more than that. It's almost been 6. It has been 6, about 6 days. So you take your own assumptions there and think, do they know this by now? Because people did leave. They did tell you that was their headquarters in Parnas, and you did leave it there.
I can swim, so I'm good.
While I was drunk
You
and
think
working, after contacting Grism, I got like really hammered. I sent a message to Mondeath.
Okay?
Very short. Honey, tell me where you have to save me some time.
You get no answer.
Yeah.
So you're just like that voice in her head. She just hears voices at random times. Like while she's asleep, it wakes her up.
Yeah. It's like 3 in the morning. He was like, "Wake up!"
So
It's
they
Lauren.
know when something's happening.
So we don't have cell phones, but we have messages, and he drunk messages her.
It's possible.
That's gonna be a recurring thing now. I get drunk and just misses Mondeath.
Okay, so
And then when I kill her, I'm just gonna be sad. I don't have anyone to talk to anymore.
yeah, I want you to get rid of her.
Even though she never talks back.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to buy a boat, I assume, or you're going to go by foot? You got options. I've got it all written
Can we
down.
hire a boat?
You could probably hire somebody to take you that way. I mean, if you didn't want to row, if you didn't
We
want to
got
try
a
to get.
bigger fishing boat, so we have like some place to get out of like bad weather if it comes.
Sure, yeah. I mean, you can buy a decent size like kill.
Yeah, we'll
Good.
hire somebody. Feel that.
Well, you got somebody that's been on a boat before and knows how one works.
Who's that?
I've been on a boat. I sailed from Mirabar to Potter's Gate.
Oh, like a Luskin or
Yeah.
it can't be Mirror
On a boat.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Luskin.
Yeah, we can do that.
So I mean, he's got experience on a ship. I mean,
Okay.
all you gotta do is head south.
How much is a boat
Hey.
gonna cost?
Well, I don't know how much boat it is in the
Things
boat.
machine gun killing.
I wish I had a folding boat.
Would it be? No, that's too small. We're gonna die.
No, you don't know what the folding boat is?
A folding boat?
Yeah, folding boat.
Yeah, you unfold it because of work alley.
Oh. I was thinking something like a fucking John boat.
If I was like artificial, I could get it for free at level 10.
Oh. I was picturing like a John boat or something like that. Like we're just gonna be out there.
No, you can unfold it, and it'll become like a long boat, and then you can unfold it again, it goes like a work alley. It's great.
So,
A galley is 30,000.
You can get you a kill boat for 3,000.
We're gonna put it down when we're done with it.
Dock it
They
there.
sell it.
You can dock it at Everlund. The river literally goes through Everlund.
So we can dock it at Everlund and then sell it, right?
If you wanted to, I mean, you might want to take it somewhere else.
give to the halflings so they can go back home.
What the heck?
The gnomes, I mean.
But yeah, I mean, you can take the boat, hire you somebody, get you to Everlund.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah.
That's the way you're going.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Pre-randomly rode. There was no encounters actually rode for the river. Smart by you guys. No one wanted to fight the red dragon on foot. So,
Aww.
hey, man, I gave you the options. It's the way you took.
I don't want to fight the red dragon at all right now.
Exactly.
At least somebody's smart.
I want to do it.
You want to fight the adult red dragon?
No.
Yeah.
All right. So
We did good against one dragon, but I think we got very lucky so far.
I saw lightning bolt prepared for when I was prepared about the giants.
so on the 9th of Hammer, you arrive in Everlund.
Actually, I have fire resistance on.
Situated on the banks of the Rovin River, Everlund is one of the North's most active mercantile communities. Thick stone wall encloses the city, pierced in 5 places by gates, like the spokes of wheel. Broad, straight avenues lead from each gate to the Bell Market city center. The streets are clean and wide, enough to accommodate large caravan vehicles. Soldiers of the city's army make a show of patrolling the walls to reassure citizens and visitors, as well as to discourage attackers. The buildings in Everlund are stately and well maintained, with steeply pitched rooftops and tall spires that sport colorful banners. 2 bridges span the river, which has parks and trees along its shores. Everlund's a really nice town. As you can tell, very well preserved. Does anybody remember where you're supposed to go?
To a tower.
Talk to
Talk to Crow and Roharo.
Crowan Valharo.
Okay.
Through the entire time, I was talking about like fighting pirates.
It's in mercantile, meaning merchants, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Plate armor.
I'm also gonna spend more time with you.
Yeah, you can buy some plate armor.
I've been
here,
worried about you, so I'm gonna spend more time
Okay.
with you.
because you're about to drive me nuts over it.
I come up here.
My apologies.
It's okay, it's cursed.
She's probably still drinking wine. She probably got a few bottles with her.
The most prominent evidence in Everlund is Moongleam Tower, a keep of black stone that reserves as a stronghold in the north. It rises from one of the higher knolls in the city and consists of 4 narrow cylindrical towers joined together, surrounded by a dry moat that can be quickly flooded through a system of cisterns and pumps. Crowning the roof is an open turret where a signaling mirror shaped like a crescent moon stands.
So, first thing we gotta do is liquidate some of our stuff.
Everlund would be a great place to do such a thing.
First, we gotta liquidate this kill boat. I don't think we're gonna use it again.
Yeah, we gotta liquidate the skill boat. Well, we could use. Does the river go down?
The river keeps going south.
Does it go to
does it
Waterdeep?
head? Yeah.
Oh God, I'm not going to say it does, but I'm pretty sure there's connecting river systems. Let's see, you'll go up around the Evermoors,
I wonder if it go to Greenish.
then you can go down to
Greenfield Company boat and
Yaltar.
hire people.
Actually, yeah,
Yeah. So we have a way to get around.
yeah, you'd have to go up north. The Reborn River turns into the Cerberan River. The Desarian River takes you all the way right outside Waterdeep, between Waterdeep and Nightstone.
Oh shit, so we can get back.
Yeah.
The kill boat.
No, you want to liquidate it. It's liquidated.
We're not
Too late.
liquidating
You
it.
have to buy a new one. Bastard. You bearded bastard. But yeah, you could take the river all the way there if you wanted to. So, let's back up. Do you want to liquidate the kill boat?
That's partying.
We'll use it.
Okay, so keep it short, keep it docked.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's a fee for that, I assume.
Yeah, doctor.
Yeah, well, it's like you guys don't have the money to pay for that. Okay, so what are you liquidating?
A peridot chain worth 400 gold, a silver torque worth 2, 6 moonstones worth 50 each.
Whatever you get, half it.
That's what I was thinking.
All
I'll
right,
just make this quick and easy.
just do it later. I mean,
We got monies.
yeah, you've got monies. Here, you can do that while the rest of these guys is doing this. So, you guys are going to where?
Got Crowan.
Where? Where is he?
They have the Moonbeam Tower.
Thank you. Okay, so you come to Moongleam Tower, and there is a sturdy
picture my
wooden
inspiration.
door in the tower entrance.
Well, it's not Misty step through the window.
There, you don't see a window.
Okay. We'll just knock on the door, I guess.
There's a slit in the door. It opens up. You see a pair of eyes. You can tell just by looking at them, because you're all elven, that they're elven. And it doesn't say anything. It just opens it up.
I speak up. Eld Hillary of the Emerald Enclave sent us.
We're looking for Crowan.
You say that, Vesper, and they say, what business do you have with Crowan?
He's to help us get to Waterdeep.
We
Does-
know where to work now.
Says who?
At Hillary
He said it, well, she can get us there quicker. She
of
said.
the Emerald Enclave.
And she said to mention her.
Yes.
The female voice shuts it. Couple minutes pass by. Opens back up. Can you prove?
Yep.
Can you
Prove
prove
it.
it? No.
A gift from her.
Can you prove why you're here to see Rowan? They're not worried about that.
We have some slaves that we're taking to Waterdeep. Some former slaves.
To ask you, they tell you everyone has no ties to Waterdeep. Why do we care to help you get to Waterdeep?
We'll just take the boat, I mean. We were just so we would find that Hillary would help us.
Yeah, but if you're gonna be a dick about it,
Oh,
Because
here
we're
we go.
trying to kill Tiamat.
Oh, you roll me a perception hearing when you say this. 8. Anybody can. You're all here at the door. Anybody
No,
can.
I'm not over inspirational. I'm
19.
sick. I feel every one of them.
Did you play like?
Yeah, so
Yeah. That's how much each. 17.
Roland and Vesper hear this in the background. You hear someone laugh, and you can tell that they think when you say, or want to kill Tiamat, that they find it really funny. They're like, "Didn't everybody in Waterdeep trying to do that?"
No, just us. They wanted.
You don't hear this.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Vesper and Roland hear it.
Basically.
Then you hear a male voice. Please, don't be like this to our guest. And the door opens up. And before you stands a human in a robe full of patches. Almost looks like a patch-made robe.
Cold.
He says, I am Archmage Crowan Valharo. He gives you a bow, says, how may I be of assistance?
I bow
I
to
return the gracious bow and say, we were told you could get us to Waterdeep faster than the normal way.
And who told you I could get you there faster?
Hillary of the Emerald Enclave.
And you know her how?
We traveled together briefly on a caravan. We became good friends. We seek to overthrow the court of the dragon.
He's like, Eld Hillary is a friendly person. How do I know that, you're just using her to get here? What proof can you give me that you actually know of her?
Can you cast sending?
I can cast many things, and he smiles.
Just
well, if you
ask
send
her.
her a message, she'll tell you.
Or someone could show that up again.
Yeah.
You're gonna show her that. You show that.
Yeah.
He kind of looks at it. You see him cast a spell, and he's like, "So you know Eld Hillary?"
Aye.
He says, "You must be Rowan Ivor."
I am.
He says, "I've been expecting you. Please come in."
I'll enter.
Anybody else following him in?
this is his time. We shut the door and let him in there.
I thought we would do some shopping before we actually came to the tower.
Say what?
I thought we'd do some shopping before we came into the tower.
You just it's all off stuff. I ain't got to put that out there yet. I mean, we'll take care of that later. You got more important things to do right now. All you're buying is like mundane stuff.
Well, maybe I just want to see how you talk like a shopkeeper.
I can. I'm also a thief and I steal all your stuff. Look, check this out. Look, I rolled a 50 on the die,
Oh, yeah.
plus with my 35 to stealing stuff.
So I have to be an 85.
35 to stealing stuff.
94.
I didn't even roll percentiles. I was on a 20. My percentile started at 1,000.
And go up.
And guess what? They're never wrong. Okay, but he leads you guys in, and there are 5 guards posted inside this door. There's 3 elves and 2 of them are human. Everybody roll me a perception sight. Luda, you get advantage.
29.
You got it.
For advantage.
25.
17.
How much? I
25.
thought you said 45. I was like, Jesus.
How'd you do that?
40.5. What do you got, Luda?
17.
Luda doesn't see it, oddly enough. I gave her advantage, but Rowan barely sees it. Vesper sees it.
Oh, guys, it's the end.
These 3 guys, these 5 guys, they wear Harper badges.
Oh, okay. I don't have a problem with Harper's. Oh, good. Because we would totally be going.
They're high up if they're wearing the badge
Can I
out in the open.
Like they're visible. Like I can point it out.
Yes, they're visible,
Like I
but
wouldn't
you
say
had to
anything.
look to find them, though. They are hidden amongst them, but you do see it openly. But yes, you do see
I'll
it.
tap Luda. I won't say anything, but I'll tap Luda and I'll.
How do you do that? Not obviously
Well,
in front of people. I mean,
Man,
hey, you're
I'm not really trying to hide it. I'm
This
just
is
like,
how you do it subtly. It's just I do.
very childlike, rolling his childlike. Yes, there we go. It's like your tattoo.
or you just be like, oh, Harper's.
Good. So you trying to discreetly show her this?
This is gonna be
I
funny.
won't, because I'll just be like, oh,
Kind of, but not
Harper's.
really.
You say out loud.
In Vesper's current state of mind, that's probably yeah, but she says Harper's. And when you do that, they kind of all like hands-on weapons when you say
I'll
this.
just,
Anybody else?
I look at Vesper like, what? 'Cause I didn't see it.
I'll be out there, Harper's. I'm not even being subtle.
Yeah, not at all.
You're working for
Rowan laughs and he says, "And you're not a Harper?"
Who, me?
Yeah.
No.
And he kind of looks confused. Are you a Harper?
No.
He looks at Rowan. Are you a Harper?
She is.
You just sold her out.
And he kind of laughs. He says, "You know, if you would have just spoke up, this probably would have been a lot easier."
So I tell you that when our adventure started, I spoke too much and almost died several times.
She doesn't have the
He
best
says, "Tell me, who's your mentor?"
So his name is Leosin.
He says, "I do not know of Leosin, though I do know he sits on the Lord's Alliance Council."
So he's very knowledgeable and he's trying to help us in the battle against the cult.
He tells you he's got himself in a bad situation. The Lord's Alliance cannot come to an agreement. They keep asking us for help, but since they left all of the North here to fend for themselves during the War of the Silver Marches, we offer no aid to the Lord's Alliance.
I don't blame you, they're assholes.
He says, yes, they're only worried about each other. They do not think of anything as a whole.
You know, I remember saying this exact words to them several times during
No.
that last meeting. Why they don't like us?
As you're having this conversation, instead of walking up the tower, he's taking you down below the tower.
I don't even know.
And I mean, he's walking up and like he's walked to a wall and he's just like kind of like does a gesture. The wall opens up. There's no door there, but it just opens up. Leads the stairs down.
My perception is so terrible. I just don't even notice which direction we're going.
But yeah, he tells you, the Lord's Alliance, if anything, will not solve the problem of Tiamat. They cannot come to a complete decision with each other. Everybody has their own way of thinking. Everybody has their own goals.
Honestly, I don't think they can wipe their own asses.
He said, if anything, us here in the north, Silvery Moon, Adbar, Thelbar, Nesme, even though it has fallen, we have learned to trust each other as a community and rely on each other. And he's like, the War of the Silver Marches, if you've ever heard anything of the old Orc War and how they came to take these lands over 100 years ago, we here are a knit group.
Aye.
And if you were to travel Waterdeep to think about such things with these men, maybe you should think your own reasoning.
To be
Maybe
fair-
you should question this, because they will tear each other apart as Tiamat rises to tear everything around us down.
They're more concerned with the giants of the land.
We're going there to work out a peace deal between Duke Zalto and Waterdeep.
He says, you've seen the fire giant Duke?
We
Yes.
convinced him to release his
The
slaves.
slaves that we are traveling with are the ones he released as a sign of goodwill.
Where is Duke Zalto?
No, tell him about the stairs we came down in the mountains.
Iron.
I think that's
Iron
supposed to be
Slave.
like a secret thing.
I understand.
He never told us to keep a secret.
You know we did it. We were never doing it as a secret.
No, but I mean, you guys have to fly way up to even get there, so.
Yeah.
They're in a forge to the north,
Mhm.
several days away.
Really? And do you kind of just describe where it was? You know the mountains.
That's just all I always say.
Okay. So you don't give him an exact location.
I'll just be like, he's looking to take down Tiamat, and he's looking for an alliance with the smaller folk. So we're trying to broker that truce, so that way to gain their help in
Not just
defeating
the Lord's
Tiamat.
He said, well, to see that you've walked out of there unscathed is probably a good start.
With literally 124 slaves,
Um,
former slaves.
do you think if one of us was to talk to Zalto, he may strike an alliance with us? I mean, for his fire giants have been raising everything they can find, looking for
He
something.
seems sincere about wishing to.
I can ask him. Give me 1 second. I ask him.
Okay.
Why he's asking, I want to tell him why they're raiding.
No, I know that's sensitive. They said that was sensitive.
I don't give a shit, there's 3 harbor agents here.
And she is a harper.
Oh yeah, Mary Twitter on.
So she's opening up at the Vodnog and
I tell him
Okay.
he's building a weapon that they used before, the Vodnog.
Now we kept the people.
Basically a
They're
giant
not with us
robot.
right now, are they?
The 3 that you guys took, yeah, they're with
Oh,
you. They're going to
What
water.
me go?
Yeah.
The giant golden like.
Oh yeah, those 4, yeah, they're with you.
See, you ever saw the
But
new
we're not
Power
taking
Rangers
them.
movie?
We're gonna take them in here to talk.
That is up to you.
I figured we left them with the Harpers in the front.
That's up to you guys.
I don't.
I'm assuming you guys didn't say anything. I'm assuming they're going with you.
That's why I
I'd rather
figured that they
than
were
he stay
here.
with us.
Yeah.
See, I'd rather leave them in the front.
Well, Luda, what do you think?
I figured everybody was coming down here at the
Oh,
same
you're
time.
outvoted. So they come with you guys.
Especially this one
What,
guy that's keeping it.
I tell him that
Before Duke
Balto has a weapon down there, and it's
So-
massive. It's like a golem, and he's gonna try to power it with ignite the
Megara.
the flame. Yeah,
It was a
Okay.
element
Yeah.
to finish
Yeah.
building it.
Stop. You send this message to Zalto. Tell me it.
It's not too bad.
There are potential allies in the north that would be open to an alliance. The Crowan Valhalla of the Silver Gleam Tower has asked for
Silver
such.
Gleam Tower.
Moongleam Tower has asked for such.
You get the itching in your head, and he says a meeting would do our sides good. I will send a message to my envoy through you, and he will take care of everything for me.
Aye.
And your envoy's already with you, so.
Yeah. Send a message to my envoy, to his envoy from me.
Yeah, to let him know.
Yeah, I let him know.
So,
Yeah.
here, tell him.
Yeah.
And then when you say this, Crowan will look at him, and he looks at you,
We're proposing. He's the Fire John's envoy.
and he kind of gives him a little bow. He says, "That I am. This is what I'm here for."
A little smooth talking. Fair enough, fellow too.
And the Crowan just kind of looks at this all strangely, saying, "All right, we'll get to that soon. Because it's taking him very off guard. Because he was expecting to meet with Zalto, and then here's Zalto's mouthpiece right here. So he's very taken off guard. He says, so tell me more about Zalto as he's continuing down these steps.
Seems like a pretty friendly guy. I mean, didn't seem,
Not so much as friendly,
So
just
friendly, yeah.
you know.
his concern. He seeks to destroy Tiamat, and beyond that, his concerns are amongst giant kind itself, not from what I can tell the others of the lines.
As you guys are walking, everybody roll me a wisdom save.
Oh, hold on.
Don't forget your +5 for me.
Also, I got a 4 over here.
Can you use luck feet on this? I'm sure I can.
Mighty 9.
A 10?
Perfect.
17.
Okay, I got a 17 to 10.
He's gonna probably out
Do I
one.
want to use my inspiration?
I don't
I
know.
got a 15.
I don't know.
No, this seems like a really, really, really bad spot. Says will saves we're making, so I'm going to use my inspiration.
Okay, so what? Well, Ward, you're using an inspiration too.
I got 15.
Okay, Roland, what do you have?
17.
No, worse.
Esper?
10.
Do it again. I use
I'm
mine.
keeping it.
Okay.
Okay, so
I got 15.
15.
Yes.
Roland, would you? Okay. Everybody but Vesper, you start to get dizzy, Vesper, as you're walking down these stairs. Stairs seem like they last forever. You guys, Ord, it's pretty clear to him right off the bat. Roland and Luda, it takes you a little bit of time to adjust. You realize this is an illusion. And these stairs aren't that long at all.
We have arcane.
Like literally, you roared right off the bat when you walk through your eyes. You know the stonework's great, but it's an illusion. And this step might go 30 feet down, but it seems like you're walking forever. And it has made you to the point that you are dizzy, Vesper.
Okay, I'm gonna ask him what the fuck is going on.
You suffer 1 level of exhaustion.
Okay.
You kind of stumble around and ask him.
Yeah.
He says, you'll get over it. It's just a way to keep intruders out. It'll pass.
It better.
Hey, you guys see he's kind of smiling about it.
That was his first insecure for that Owen.
Yeah.
It's worth it because it could have been something really bad.
It would,
Hey, I
yeah.
have a question. If I touch my
He's
sword
an archmage. He
handle,
could work for
Your what?
Oh, no.
my sword handle,
Uh-huh.
can I'm gonna like just in my head be like, ask it, what's its take on this guy?
To take on this guy doesn't answer.
What color was his cloak?
It's a patchwork cloak.
Okay, you said patchwork.
Think of someone when you go to grandma's house.
Yeah.
She's got a patchwork quilt. That's what his cloak looks like. It's all patchwork. It's very crazy looking.
I know you say he's an archmage. That's what I was wondering. I was like, oh, an angry head.
I'm just gonna listen. I'm very clearly picturing like Radagast right now.
No, he's Radagast is like a druid. Got a druid look to him. No, he's got like a patchwork quilt. It's all blues and greens and grays. Now, eventually, you come to this room, and this room is 20 by 20. And then,
Just call me.
and in the middle of this room is a circle with all these symbols drawn on it.
Teleportation circle.
Now that you know that, but yes, this is what this is. But he says this will take you to Waterdeep quickly. He says, tells you, surprisingly, if Miss Silverstring here was a little bit in deeper with the Harper, she would know that these exist. And if anything, you guys did us a favor by clearing the Zentarium out of Loudwater. Now we can freely use the one that's there.
You're welcome.
He says, Envoy of Zalto, will you be staying? He says, no, I'm sorry. I must be going to Waterdeep. These are my escorts. He says, that's where I'm to go. I apologize, but anything you need, he said, I can stay here and talk. if they allow it.
Who's this?
We can.
This
hold
is
up-
the invoice. This is Alto's guy.
Oh, is he going with
Yeah.
us?
I'll ask him how much time he would need.
Crowin? He said-
No, the envoy, well, both of
Well,
them.
it's all right. Depends on what he needs. He's like, if,
We just get off a boat, in which we need to liquidate if we're gonna use the circle to get the water deep. We can spend a day.
I'll ask him if there are any Zentarum here.
he laughs. Says, in my town, no. He said, and after the reports of you there, I'm glad there are not. I would not appreciate you just randomly shooting into a crowd of people.
Whatever it takes.
Obviously.
He's had bad dealings.
He says, and I apologize for such a thing.
He's a bitch. No kidding.
He says,
She is really.
he says, so, if there's not anything, I will like to speak to the envoy here alone to set up negotiations with Zalto if there are any can be had. Is there anything else that you guys need?
It's kind of hard to speak my whole piece because his envoy's here.
Well, you can, you're a harper.
Yeah.
You can ask for this, hey, like, can I speak to you privately or whatnot? I mean,
Yeah, I'll tell him I would like to speak to him as well before we leave.
all right. Okay, so, when you speak to him, you're gonna go liquidate some stuff for him?
Yeah, get rid of the boat since we don't need it.
Roland? What you doing?
Probably stick with Ord.
I'll ask him before I leave. I'll go with Lord, but I'll ask him if before we leave if he happens to have any, since the Harpers, he seems to have dealings with the Harpers. If maybe they have any leads of any Zentarum activity in Waterdeep,
He said,
maybe you could give me a couple of
he
leads.
says, yes, I can. He said, would I give them to you? No. You have to understand that the Zentarum are everywhere.
Yes.
And what we have in motion, I do not need you going in there the way you are and ruining them.
Well, I'm gonna fuck him up.
He said, and that's fine. You can do that to anybody, but I will not allow you to do that to my operatives and where they're placed.
Well, tell me your operatives and I'm gonna kill them.
He says, no, that's why they're undercover.
The goal is to get in deep
Well, tell
and
them not
bring
to
it
get in my
down.
way.
And he says, trust me, I'll make sure that they make sure that you stay out of the way.
So this should be like a password, like figgy pudding. If they start yelling figgy pudding, no shit.
You shoot aside. They shoot from within.
Out of game,
Which
what
means
we
they
call
get,
the
they get
Alliance
deep
of the North
and bring it down from the inside.
They don't have one.
I thought you gave
They're all, no. I said the Lord's Alliance, Waterdeep.
Yeah.
They don't have an alliance to their name. They just help each other. If you ever read the Dritz book, you'd see all this. They don't really have, they don't call themselves.
Not the Nesme Riders and all that. So
Yeah. Think about Lord of the Rings. None of them guys have a name for it. It's just a general community that helps each other. So,
Much more respectful than it must
The
be.
idea was that once
my
we got
towns
to
are more
Waterdeep,
important.
I could speak to Salazar and Thea about opening communications with this alliance and
I
spreading.
told
you
you,
know,
they don't want nothing
they
to do
don't
with
want it, but when shit hits the fan, they're over here, they're getting destroyed, and here comes the Order of the Gauntlet. They're not going to be like, "Fuck you, we'll rather
But
die."
did you just not get any of that? They
That's
said
kinda what happened.
when we're fine and they're arguing with themselves, they're
Stop
gonna
that.
save the day.
Exactly.
They have no faith in what's going on
I have,
there.
Roland.
He explained to you during the War of the Silver Marches, Waterdeep, all that, they left them to this place of their own devices. I mean, the Dwarven Citadels, what I'm talking about is the way he is, how he is right now.
Yeah.
That's what he was talking about last time. Because if they would have
So
helped,
speaking to them at all would do nothing.
Everyone's too damn concerned about their plot of land.
exactly. Even
Right.
even the Order has their own goals to gain through
Yeah.
it. I mean, your parents are not saints when it comes to that.
Right.
The saints, but not that kind of
Yes.
saints.
I mean, everybody has their own goals there. And sure, some of them might want to literally do this, but in the end, none of them can come together.
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to tell you. Where they know what they're going to do. They've already made plans. They're used to being outs by everybody over there.
Yeah. I do want to inform Rowan that Parnas has what remains of Parnas has been taken over as a home base of the cult.
And he will tell you that they have made no headway from Loudwater, nor do they plan to. He says the Stone Giants have taken over everything east.
You could just throw shiny bubbles at him. That's what he did.
I'm sorry.
Hey, by the way, where's your thingy?
It's in my car.
Oh.
Well, last time I went to
Operation
throw
Gone.
last time I went to throw my head and it popped. So I got it fixed. I didn't want
You
to
got
mess
a
it
fat
up.
head.
Yeah, I do.
I do too, don't feel bad. I
But
can't work.
I didn't want to mess it up, so I didn't want to keep playing with it.
All right. Anybody got anything else to save Crone for? It's him and Luda.
No. You go check out a weapon shop.
Okay.
I didn't know to say
Anything
that.
mundane that you guys need to buy, like you need to buy plate, whatnot, you guys go ahead and do that. So Luda, do you need the envoy there?
No, I don't want
You
to.
do not
It's
need
1,500.
Well, I figured I might pick up a second weapon.
Arteria, you don't need him for nothing.
Because-
So you're talking about yourself.
And-
No, because so I say he gets a terrible hard life.
Okay. So he'll pull you up to his private quarters, his office. He'll pull the seat out. He's very well mannered. Ask you if you'd like a drink.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. And he says, "Please, young Harper, tell me what is on your mind."
I'm going to start. I say we told you a little bit, but I'm going to tell you that the journey here and I'm going to start with the giant. What's it called? Where we went the fucking the circle in the temple.
The Temple of the All Fathers?
Yes. I'm going to tell him about. I'm going to start there. That way he knows where I'm coming from, and I'm going to tell him
No.
everything that we found in there while we was there. I tell him about the storm giant that apparently killed his son, and that's also the same storm giant that we got on a flying ship, and to get us to the fire giant for help because we had a common enemy. But I say that still don't give him any means to do what he did, even though he did it out of rage. I just don't believe that you could just murder somebody and then, be good with yourself like he is, even though he acts like he's not. I think there's a lot more going on there.
To be fair,
He says,
Hold on.
so wait. So you're telling me that this Duke Zalto has this cloud giant ally,
Mm-hmm. What's his?
and you don't look off this,
Yeah, look also.
and you don't trust him.
No.
He says, so should I honestly try to strike a deal with Zalto if Zalto has an ally that you think I cannot trust?
Well, that's where I'm getting to. I gotta get through the rest of my.
Okay.
Tell you, Zalto and him are allies in some sort. I tell you that the storm giant, he has a flying, basically a city, flies in the air. I've never seen nothing like this.
It's
before.
not uncommon for cloud giants.
I say on it, we killed Rasmir. He was a cult, one of the cult leader dragons. And we killed a white ancient dragon that tried to kill us.
He tells you, this leader, did she wear a crown or anything?
Yes. I tell you,
No, she didn't wear a crown.
well, hold on. I tell you that I searched for the crown because Lee Olson told me it was important and it was not there.
Damn it. We really need that.
I don't know how deep she was, but we wanted, we was prisoners on this ship.
He
that we broke
tells
out.
you that is a key piece to summoning Tiamat. There are 5, one for each of evil dragon kind.
Okay.
And with those, they become one, and it is needed to summon Tiamat.
Out of game, this really makes me not want to trust Lee Olson. He didn't tell me that.
no, well, he only had 25 words.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And he was like congratulating you. Then he goes,
Yeah, I got you.
"Did you find the crown? It's very
Yeah.
important. We get the crown."
Yeah.
Alright. I'll tell you that once we got enslaved on this thing, and then the giant that we met at the temple actually saved us. We found out he owned the ship, and he wanted us to fight against the cult. Very confusing. I still can't wrap my mind around all that. And then we go to the fire giant because he said he also seeks the death of Tiamat. So we meet through Dalto. But while we're there, and I describe everything inside this, where it's at. I don't like it. It has a presence of evil. But they had a bunch of slaves, and he did set his slaves free to strike a deal because he needs help to fight Tiamat. But I tell you, so besides me not trusting the Storm Giant, because I still think he's got a bunch of secrets he ain't telling nobody, I definitely think that Zalto will uphold his alliance until Tiamat's dead. Because he keeps talking about how he wants the fire giants to be on top of the plateau since the ore's broken. And I say there's the reason I bring you in here without having his cohort in here, because if he found this out, he would just not side with us and we'd have a bigger war on our hand. I actually think we should, I hate saying use him, but I think we should use his help until Tiamat's down, but prepare for him to counter-strike at a moment's notice. Because this machine that he wants to wield, I tell her everything about it. How big it is, how powerful it looks, and I'm like, we need to find out a way to shut that down after Tiamat's dead. Or he'll slave the whole world.
He said, but would that not to do that, that would cause a war between us and him.
No, I'm just saying, like, if he goes to turn on us, we need a plan to shut that thing down. Because if he turns on us after Tiamat's dead, then he'll just do what Tiamat's going to do and just take over the whole coast all the way up.
And you put no faith in his alliance afterwards.
I could be wrong. He is lawful. He does hold everything he said he was going to do. He did do, but I just fear watching all those slaves and seeing everything and how they run things in there. That and the way he talks about him wanting to be on top of the chain. Maybe if we did an alliance, he wouldn't mess with us. But I fear that he might be power hungry. I tell him all the heads he had and all the trophies, and I just don't want to align myself too long with something that could turn his head on us as quickly as a villain would do, which I don't know if he's a villain.
Then why travel to Waterdeep to strike an alliance with those men there in the Lord's Alliance when they can't even strike an alliance between themselves?
I'll tell you, the alliance at Waterdeep is more scared of the giants, or the giants, yeah, more scared of the giants than they are the dragons. Tiamat's the problem, and I believe by showing them that the fire giants even willing to help, maybe they'd open their eyes that the threat's not the giants, it's the cult raising Tiamat.
So you need to get to Waterdeep quickly.
Mm-hmm. My intentions is I don't really care about the lions. I care about them seeing a fire giant wanting to align himself, which is going to tell them there's definitely the threat of the dragons. I think that's what they're not getting is that these dragons. We've killed one or two, but I say we was on a caravan. That's where I met artillery, and I tell him all about that. And I was like, there's 3 humongous dragons that took that whole caravan down.
He says,
and we might have slayed one, but having several, not good.
he says, Luda, do you realize there are far more many dragons in all of the realms than just 3?
Yeah, that's what I'm letting you know. I feel there's more. There's a lot more dragons.
I can attest that there are more.
And I feel like they're getting together, and I don't think that's good. And if they're more scared of the giants, we're not paying attention, they can wipe whole towns out in seconds.
He says, but if we can trust Zalto, and Zalto can find a way to rally giant kind.
He does say he wants to do that.
He said maybe, maybe that is what will bring the Lord's Alliance together.
You bring up a good point, because he did say he wants to ally all giants against Tiamat. And he did uphold his promise. He gave all of us his slaves, and he said that as long as we give him minions, which I would tell him that's what we're doing, we're going to be building these creatures. I don't know if he had his bear out or he knows about it, but I tell him all about it, to help dig his mines and all that, so he don't need slaves. So as long as we produce him with that, he don't need slaves, and that was my biggest problem with him, is having all the slaves. But I say maybe his truth is stronger than what I think. But I tell you, the one I'm definitely still worried about is the Augustus, or whatever his name is.
Logoscus. He tells you, do you know who you should be worried about? Your friend, Vesper. There's a lot of hate in her eyes.
I tell him all the dark past she's been down and I had to pull her out of. This time I don't think I can.
And he's like, well, that explains where the hatred from the Zenorum comes from. He's like, but you need to understand, you know, being irrational like that and gun ho will get you all killed one day.
I tell you,
Rational gung ho. These the words that exactly describe us.
I tell you, I try to help her and I fear that she'll get herself killed or us killed. I do tell him, because he's an archmage, that he lost his lover to a vampire on this ship.
She,
Yeah,
he says,
and it didn't make things better.
that's unfortunate. That probably explains her current predicament. It's like, but she needs somebody. And you seem to have a good head on your shoulders. You're going to make a great harbor agent.
I've learned from a lot of mistakes that's made me better so far.
Just stop pay for it.
I've
Scrapping hook.
I tell you, I even tell him I almost infiltrated the cult myself, but I think it's a good thing that I did not get that far. I would have died.
He says, you're lucky you're alive as it is. Now, I need to speak with this envoy so I can get you guys on your way. It's like, says, but please, if you need anything, contact me.
I will.
Says, especially once you get to Waterdeep, I need to know what's going on.
Do I notice, while we're doing this, I'm probably going to fail on this perception. I'm going to look and see if I notice that this archmage does not have any Harper tattoos.
He's got a giant robe on.
Okay. Because I don't want to distract.
He has a
Harper's
giant
not-
robe
Yeah.
and a staff that almost looks like the leader for the Elemental Flame.
Oh. I do ask him, you seem to be really close with the Harpers.
He's a high-ranking arbiter.
Yeah, well, I don't want to like ask him, but that's what I'm getting at. I'm like, I say hopefully one day, that's what I would do it cleverly. I say hopefully my skills can deliver me to where you are someday.
Says, with your way of thinking, I see this. Said, you go far, Luda Silverstring. I have faith in you. With that, he excuses himself, and he goes talks to Adaria. They have their conversation. You'll go round these guys up so he can get you guys to Waterdeep. He makes sure on your way down the stairs that he turns off the illusion not to make Vesper sick. He asks you all, please step in this circle. I guess you've even got your people that were slaves with you there. Your envoy. He's got a big smile on his face. He's pretty happy. And
Vesper's hand.
he says, you're going to fill a pool
Yep.
because no one here's ever teleported. And he said, more than likely, you're going to be a little sick on the other side. And he speaks a couple words in Draconic. Is that how you speak Draconic? And from one of these pouches, he's like, no. And then he pulls out this giant diamond from this little bitty pouch. He takes it with magic, he crushes it, he throws it over your guys, and next thing you know, you're gone.